Your website can launch in 4 days, but if it launches on the wrong address, the cleanup can take much longer. The site might look finished, the copy might be polished, the checkout might work. But if the public address is still a temporary builder subdomain, the brand is not fully launched yet. This matters because websites are getting faster to build. Wix reported that average time to publish dropped from 8 days in 2025 to 4 days in 2026. That is great for founders and operators. It means a landing page, store, portfolio, or product site can go live quickly. But speed creates a new risk. Teams can publish before they have made a real domain decision. The domain is not just a cosmetic detail. It is the address people remember, type, share, save, search for, and trust. Domain Name Wire summarized Wix data showing that the share of published Wix sites connected to real domains rose from 26% in 2022 to 66% last year. That is a big shift. More teams are connecting real domains earlier because the domain is part of the trust layer. The same data also shows why this is not only about search. Search was reported at 42% of traffic. Direct traffic was close behind at 40%. Direct traffic is what happens when people remember you, type you, click a saved link, return from a previous visit, or move from an offline mention into the browser. A temporary builder subdomain makes that harder. Here is the trap. A team builds quickly. They pick a temporary address because it is available right now. The page starts spreading. A founder puts it in a pitch deck. A customer bookmarks it. A contractor adds it to an email signature. A few early links point there. Then the team buys the real domain later. Now the work is not only connect the domain, the work is also migrate links, update social profiles, set up email, verify redirects, reconnect analytics, check indexing, and make sure customers do not land on the old address. That is not impossible. It is just unnecessary friction when the domain decision could have been part of launch planning. So use a simple 5-part checklist before the site goes public. First, decide the public address people should remember. If the exact .com is not available, compare real alternatives before settling for a temporary path. That could include a stronger 2-word name, a different extension that fits the audience, or a watch list target you want to track. Second, check whether the domain supports the business model. Can customers spell it after hearing it once? Does it fit email? Does it look credible on an invoice, ad, proposal, or support reply? Does it avoid confusing overlap with another brand in the same space? Third, plan email before launch. A website on one address and email on another can confuse buyers. Even if email setup comes later, write down who owns it, when it changes, and what support address customers should trust. Fourth, plan redirects before the old address spreads. If a builder subdomain, staging URL, or prior domain already has links, map those URLs to the final domain. Google Search Central treats site moves as something to plan and monitor, not a switch to flip casually. Fifth, connect analytics and verification to the final domain. If you measure launch traffic on a temporary address, then change the address. You can make reporting harder right when you need clean data. This is where Catches fits the workflow. Catches is not here to promise that every domain can be acquired. No platform can promise that. The useful workflow is research, compare, watch, backorder, and track. Start by searching the kind of domain you want. Look for names that match the product, the category, the audience, or the brand phrase people will remember. Then save realistic options. A launch team should not have only one address in mind if that address is already taken or likely to become expensive. For expiring domains, Catches helps you review upcoming drops and backorder targets. For auctions, Catches gives marketplace context, current price, bidder activity, and timing, so you can make a calmer decision. That does not mean the auction number is your instruction. It is an input. Before any bid or backorder, write down why the domain fits, what the walkaway point is, what the renewal burden looks like, and what fallback names you would still be proud to use. Here is a practical launch sequence. Before the site is public, pick 3 domain candidates. Candidate 1 is the best fit name you want most. Candidate 2 is the realistic backup you could launch without embarrassment. Candidate 3 is the defensive or future option you want to watch, not necessarily buy today. Next, check each candidate for spelling, voice, email fit, competitor confusion, and expansion risk. Then decide the launch address before traffic starts moving. If you already launched on a builder subdomain, do not panic. Make a migration plan, connect the real domain, map important URLs, update public profiles, test redirects, check analytics, verify that key pages can be crawled and shared. The mistake is not using a builder, the mistake is letting the temporary address become the brand by accident. A real domain does 3 jobs that a temporary subdomain rarely does well. It helps people trust the business. It helps people remember and return. It gives the operator more control over email, analytics, redirects, migration, and long-term brand equity. That is why the domain decision belongs near the start of a fast website launch and not at the end. Before you publish, ask 5 questions. Is this the address we want customers to remember? Can we use it for email and support? Have we checked confusion with similar brands? Do we know what happens to any temporary URLs? And do we have backup names saved if the first choice is not available? Use catches to search expiring domains, review auctions, set watch list targets, and organize the acquisition workflow before your fast website becomes a public brand. A fast launch is useful. A memorable, controlled, trustworthy domain is what makes it last.